Yo, you're in tune to the Fabio, the original bad boy in the business. Keep it locked up to BBC Radio 1. Blow. Let's take it back to the old school.
Many thanks to Rory McConnell for BBC introducing. Yes, we've got a special show tonight. Very special. Really excited about tonight's show. We go old school, but old school with a kick. Old school with a difference. We are being joined in the second hour by the legendary, the masterly Kenny Ken. He, the king of old school. He's coming in for a bit of reminiscing. And we'll be playing some old school classics and talking about back in the day. The first hour will be doing your request, kicking off with Dave Murray, who requested High Contrast, Racing Green. Killer way to start the show. It's Fabio's Radio 1. We got old school tonight.
Old school! Hey, alright, now we're going in with a classic.
Murray requested Racing Green, and we thought, what a way to start the show. The first hour we have got is the listener's choice, and the second hour we have got the King of Jungle himself, Kenny Ken. I listened to Kenny a couple of months ago play an old school set at Fabric alongside the Ragga Twins, and I've got to say that was probably the best old school set that I've heard in a long, long time. And when I was told, look, we'd want a guest for the first, or for the third old school show, Kenny Ken sprang to mind immediately. So I'm looking forward to that. And some great choices for the old school. Thanks to everybody for suggesting tracks and stuff. And of course, we can't play everything, obviously. But we're going to try and get through a few that didn't make it on the last show. And I've got to say, the choices are amazing. I don't think there's one track that someone suggested that I wouldn't play. So it's been a hard choice. Me and the team filtering through. So we had Dave Murray's Racing Green, and next track we come to is by a dedicated listener, Karim, who has suggested many tracks, and I've chosen this one. And what a track. I remember hearing this track, I think in '93, and it's one of those tracks immediately you knew that there was a classic in the making. Body Snatch, Just For You London. It's Fabio, it's Radio 1, it's old school.
London, London, just for you, London, 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 just for you, London, 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 just for you, London. Just for you, London.
originals, digging at the first D&B classics.
Let's take it back to the old school.
Giving it my own shit now. Giving it my own shit now.
Yes, two in a row. First of all, we had Euphony and Just For You London. That was for Karim. And in the background, we have got Screw Therapy, Universal and Good Looking. Martin Buck asked for a little bit of Good Looking. And he got it. Wicked track. Yes, we've got Kenny Ken coming in soon. Can't wait for Kenny to come in, and we're going to be talking about the old days. And I know Kenny comes in with a different selection as well. Doesn't play obvious old school tunes, and can't wait for that. Big shout going out to Pips and James. Yes, indeed. Right, the next track. We had many requests for Dillinger. Of course, you know, Dillinger, one of the greats. Maybe the golden era of Dillinger was the 90s, where he made some amazing tunes, done some great remixes. And of course, alongside his erstwhile partner, Lemon D, they of course got their place, sealed their place in history as great producers. Now, many tracks were suggested, and I've gone with this one. Some of them are a little bit more obvious, and this is quite an obvious track, but it's a track that doesn't get played that much.
It's Fabio on BBC Radio 1.
BBC Radio 1. BBC Radio 1. BBC Radio 1. BBC Radio 1. BBC Radio 1. BBC Radio 1. BBC Radio 1. BBC Radio 1. BBC Radio 1. BBC Radio 1.
Hey, right now we're going in with a classic. Everything drum and bass, Fabio Grooverider on BBC Radio 1.
Let's take it back to the old school.
One of my favourite all-time producers, the mighty Johnny L. And Piper. Remember hearing Grooverider play that tune? He was in Swansea, Martha's in Swansea. Remember that day like it was yesterday. And he drew this out on me and I was like, wow. Emily Collins asked for Piper. Nice one, Emily. And many of you asked for Dillinger. Drew for the acid track by the mighty Dillinger. Kenny will probably have some more Dillinger. Of course, Kenny Kane is coming in. Second half of the show. That is going to be big. Sending my respects and my big shouts going out to the roast crew, still going, still keeping it old school. Not forgetting Mickey Finn, Darren J and them guys still rolling with AWOL. Also to Funky and them guys rolling with Moon Dance, Rain Dance, all the old school mob that are still doing their thing. Respect to you. And you know, I hate getting caught up in the whole, you know, someone said to me the other day, do you think old school's, don't you think it's so much better? I was like, well, no, not really, because as much as I love old school, you know, you've got to be forward thinking. You've got to remember kids out there hearing the music for the first time still have that same feeling we had years ago. It's called getting old. And of course you remember things from back in the day, and that's what the whole nostalgia thing's about. Anyway, we're going to keep it moving. Probably had more requests for Photech tracks than any other. Of course, this guy is an absolute genius. I actually worked in the studio with Photech, and he's on another level. We've spoken many a time about Photech. Doing other things now, making film soundtracks and stuff like that. Right, we have an amazing library and a history of tracks from Photech that you can listen to forever. Right, so 2 in a row. First track, I'm playing a real early track. And this track's going out to Dino. Two in a row from Photech. It's Radio 1, it's Fabio, coming soon. The Kenny Ken. on BBC Radio 1. An amazing track. 910 Ichirui. I remember this track was inspired by a Photech plane at a crazy party in Mount Fuji in Japan. And he met samurais there, the whole thing, and came back and made that track. It is insane. A track that is still ahead of its time. Two Swords Technique, 910 Ichirui. Before that you had Jump Mark II, back in the day beats. Wicked stuff. Right, so we featured some masters of the game already, you know, High Contrast, Dillinger, Photech. Now going to one of my favourite artists from the 90s. Again, unfortunately not making D&B no more. Made some marvellous tracks on Good Looking and the legendary Moving Shadow. This track's going out to Mark Wagenheim, and it's a track entitled The Road Tune by Flytronics, Moving Shadow. I think this is from 94. Going out to all the swerve heads, everybody used to pop down Speed back in the day with myself and LTJ Bookham, MC Conrad, also Storm, Inc, Loxy, all those guys used to come by and play. We're taking it back to the old school tonight. And we've got a very special guest, Kenny Ken, coming in. We're going to be talking about everything back in the day. Check this out, Flytronics Road Tune, big tune.
Somebody make some noise for Fabio on BBC Radio 1.
Old school. Let's take it back to the old school.
Was for Dean Redpath, who requested the incredible Helicopter tune made by Deep Blue, out on Moving Shadow. And you go to any old school dance, you'll hear that tune, like guaranteed, and it will kick off every single time. And before that, another track from the mighty Moving Shadow stable. We had Flytronics and the wonderful The Road tune. As I said, there's been some great suggestions. Thanks to everybody who's emailed us and Facebooked us about what tracks to play. And I said it was a very, very hard choice. And thanks to everybody putting your ideas forward. Right, we have got Kenny coming up soon. We got a track from another DJ that I know one day when we're doing this whole old school thing, gotta get him in. The mighty Ray Keith. And he made some classics. You know, a lot of people ask for Chopper, but I decided to go with this one. Proper jungle business. Sending out to everybody who used to go to Voodoo Magic. Also Wax Club and all the mans like DJ Ron, Fantasy, Mickey Slim Finn. This is proper jungle. Ray Keith and a track entitled Yes Yes.
made out of brown paper. Sounds that we bring are of a different nature. Rhythms get greater, the rhythms they get greater. Yes, another rougher tough form for the chaser. New configuration, new riff and new structure. Built on the frame that'll hold and won't puncture. Tight, we wrap it up, it's wrapped tightly.
From Ray Key for Philip, and we had Yes Yes and Brown Paper Bag. What a classic, what a tune. Ronnie Size.
Hold on, it was for Ross.
It was for Ross.
Ross Sampson.
You see, I was ad-libbing there. That's years in the game. That's years of experience. You didn't even know. Didn't see what I did there, did ya? But anyway, that was for Ross and Brown Paper Bag, of course. Ronnie Size, Mercury Music Award winner. An absolute legend. And speaking of legends, I'm glad to have, for the second hour of our show tonight, we have got the mighty Kenny Ken.
Yes, Fabio.
What's happening, man?
Boy, I'm good, I'm good. I'm just pleased to be here today. I'm glad you asked me to come up, man.
Well, I did. And as I said to you, we spoke on the phone and I said, Ken, there's you go to a lot of old school events and, roast, and all of these events have sprung up over the last year and really have been very popular nights. And you did a old school set at Fabric, who don't do a lot of old school, and we was in room 3.
Yeah.
And we shared the stage together. And I got in there, man, and it was vibing differently.
Oh, that night was heavy, man.
Differently, it was vibing, and you was on, and Ragga Twins, and it's not often you find like that DJ MC thing, and you two was really vibing together, man. It was like form and function, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real.
And it was proper things. And I thought to myself, Kenny Ken, if we're gonna do this old school thing, we've got to get Kenny Ken in, man. So look, let's take it back to the very start, man.
Okay.
Let's take it back. Let's put everyone on a history lesson. And
okay,
musically, before jungle and stuff like that, you grew up. Whereabouts did you grow up, actually?
I grew up in Hackney.
You grew up in Hackney.
Yeah.
And so I'm guessing it was reggae and soul.
Reggae, soul, disco, ska, bit of ska as well.
Absolutely.
Hip hop, a little bit of hip hop. The old school hip hop though, not the new stuff now. I like the old school, like Biz Markie,
Public Enemy,
Run DMC.
Oh, that, wow.
Them kind of people.
Beastie Boys, even remember Beastie Boys came out. I was feeding Beastie Boys, you know. I was feeding a lot of people were like, nah, they ain't the real thing, man. But I was feeding Beastie Boys.
They kind of remind me of Vanilla Ice, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, there was a bit more dark. They were darker than Vanilla Ice. They were darker than Ice.
No, to be honest with you, I never really used to check them, really. So I can't really run up my mouth about them because...
But the whole Def Jam kind of thing anyway.
Yeah.
You know, Russell Simmons and them guys,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, that era, you know, we was all into that. Did hip-hop kind of bring you into the whole electronic thing? Because, you know, growing up, it was all about real music and real instruments. And then the electronic wave came along, you know, Africa Bambaataa came along with Planet Rock, and then hip-hop came along. Do you think that gave you an insight into electronic music?
Well, to be honest with you, Fab, at that time, I wasn't even thinking about the music. I was used to go to the clubs, listen to the music, have a rave and that, have a party and everything. But I wasn't thinking about how the music was made. It's only when I started DJing myself that I started to study about how the music's made. And, you know, like the first time I was asked to make a tune, I went to the studio, and the engineer said to me, where's your samples? I said, what samples? I said, what are you talking about, samples?
You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about, kid? Samples?
You know what I mean? Yeah. So like, I was clueless back then. You know what I mean? If you're talking about making the music, I was really clueless then.
But what year are we talking about here?
We're talking about like 85, 86.
All right, let's fast forward, man. The acid house era, of course, you know, affected all of the early DJs, and you know, 87, 88 was a special time.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember speaking to you loads, man, back in the day, and you always like. You was like out there raving, and that's great because you was a raver, wasn't you?
Yeah, I was a raver before I was a DJ. I used to work on London Transport, and I used to have my uniform in the back of the car.
Go on.
And we used to go raving. Then I used to have to go to Oxford Circus Station and quickly have a wash in the toilets and everything, and fix up myself.
Yeah,
and then go and collect tickets. You know what I mean?
You say that now, right? And you say that to anyone now, and they're like, "Wow, what was he doing?" But then it was commonplace to be that passionate about the music. Yeah. You would go and wash yourself in a public toilet.
That was the norm.
It was standard.
Yeah, that was the norm.
Saying? And that
Liverpool
shows.
Street Station was my washing place. The toilets in there was well clean. You know what I mean? So Liverpool Street. It's all down to Liverpool Street.
A little wash and brush up before you go out. Yeah, that was the spot. Wicked. All right, listen, we're gonna kickstart, and the first track you played to me. This is proper hardcore proto jungle kind
this
of
is
stuff,
heavy,
man.
This is when the hardcore was just coming into the jungle kind of thing, you know?
And what year are we talking about?
We're talking about, I think it's 92.
Right.
Yeah, 92 I think.
And this is a track entitled Nino's Theme, but is it Euphonics?
It's I think it's called Euphoria by Nino's Dream, I think.
Right. That's how much I know about this tune. Do you know what I'm saying? And what label did it come out? Because you can remember.
Production House.
Production House.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
So anyway, straight after this, Kenny, we'll talk about the early jungle days.
Okay.
This is a tune, man.
Heavy.
It's Fabio alongside Kenny Ken for the next hour. We're going to mix and blend.
Crew bass.
Wow. Do you know what, Ken? I had that tune. I used to play that tune like hard back in the day.
Don't lie. Don't lie.
It's the first time I've heard it, actually. But no, I used to play that tune and I totally forgot about that tune. Because it reminds me of Johnny L.
Yeah.
Hurt You So. It's very similar, that
For real.
euphoric kind of... Anyway, tell me, what was the name of that track?
Euphoria.
Wicked track, man. Nino's Theme.
Yeah. No, Nino's Dream. Dream as in having a dream.
Not theme like you're having a theme.
No, not theme, dream.
But anyway, look, this is a very, very early jungle track.
Yeah.
How did the jungle thing start for you?
I'll tell you how it started for me. One day, I think I went roast, because when roast first started, the rave roast.
Yeah.
When that first started, I was still playing like fall to the floor stuff. You know what I mean? And Groove came on, and Groove was playing some stuff, man. And I just said to Groove, you know what, Groove, I can't get into this. What you're playing, you know?
Yeah.
But then they started to bring the reggae element into it.
That's right.
And that's when I started to feel it, when the reggae came into it. And I thought, wow, this sounds all right, you know? Yeah, I like this groove. Yeah, this is all right.
So, you know,
what I mean?
you mentioned Foot on the Floor. Let's explain to everyone, like, you know,
Right.
you was playing a lot more housey.
Yeah, housey stuff. you know.
Housey kind of stuff,
Yeah.
like, you know, but what kind of stuff, you know, like, name a couple of tunes.
Like, I'll tell you what's got the fall to the floor beating it. Like Doc Scott's Here Comes the Drums, the
Here
remix
Comes
he
the
done.
Drums, and yeah, at that
got-
time, it was, they used to call a lot of that jungle techno.
Jungle techno, yeah, that's right, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Easy Groove was the master of
Yeah,
that, and,
yeah.
and those cats. And also around that time as well, Carl Cox was used to DJ with us
yeah.
on a regular basis, man. You know what I'm saying?
Regular like clockwork.
So you started, like, you heard Groove play, like, you know, this kind of style of stuff, and
Yeah.
what stuff was you feeling, like Living Dream and
Yeah,
and stuff
Living
like that?
Dream. There was, I don't know if you remember Para. You remember Para?
I remember Para. I remember him.
Right.
He used to do stuff with Potential Bad Boy.
Yeah.
Still does stuff with Hype, right?
All like Noise Factory, you know what I
Amazing
mean?
stuff, man.
All them kind of like third party, that label Third Party, you know, all that kind of stuff. That's what was getting me into the jungle, you know, like
And what raves were you playing at the time?
Thunder and Joy.
Yeah, wow. Thunder and Joy, man, that was incredible.
Now you're really
Incredible
picking my
night.
brain, Fabio. Now, man.
And Wax Club?
Wax Club, yeah, Telepathy.
Yeah.
Where else? Oh boy, damn.
There was many
Roast.
Roast and many places.
There was
like that,
loads.
man.
There was so many.
But let's kind of visualize slightly that old era, because it was different then. It was,
Yeah.
you know, jungle was very much very urban. It was very, very kind of inner city. I remember Wax Club being in the middle of a council estate, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I went there, people was like, "Wow, you know what? You need to go down there firmed up, because it's so naughty in there.
Yeah, it
you need
was.
to go down there with a few mans that you know."
That was in Hackney, as it goes.
That was in Hackney,
Yeah.
right? Exactly. You know, your manor, and it was like, I remember the first time I went in there, and it was gangster in there, man.
Yeah, it was a bit naughty in there, yeah.
It was a bit naughty, but
I mean, I never had no problems in there, though, you know what I mean? But
but it kind of added to the vibe.
Yeah.
You know, it kind of added to the whole vibe of everything.
Well, it was Ram every week, weren't it? You know what I mean? Every time it was on, it was ram-packed, you know, so...
Absolutely. And another thing those days, you know, we didn't know how long this was going to last. If you'd have told us in 92, yo, look, 19 years down the line, we were going to be on Radio 1 talking about this stuff. I mean, I don't think people really have the perception of how far away, and there's no way we would ever believe that would happen.
Well, I never thought I'd still be DJing now, and it's now 2011.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Right, and I started in 1989, early 89, I started DJing, and like, I'm still DJing now, and I'm still getting work nearly every week, you know what I mean? So
That's incredible, eh?
it says a lot for the music, you know?
Anyway, look, let's move on to track 2. And tell us about this. This is by the
Underworld.
Underworld.
This track is called Soundboy and a Problem.
Right.
To be honest with you, I never ever heard anyone else play this track, but it was one that I used to love. I used to bust it at Thunder and Joy. And
Okay.
They used to go mad. So just
And you know, quickly before we play this track, it's amazing that the kids are now getting back into the old school thing.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
big time.
Definitely. Sometimes when I play at an old school rave now, you know, in 2011, some of the kids who I see raving there weren't even born when this music was out. You know what I mean? So, and they're having it to
It's
the music.
testament.
Yeah, exactly. So the music's still got life. It's still doing its thing all these years later.
Keeping it moving, man.
Yeah, man.
Right, proper jungle.
Deep.
Proper things, the Underworld. We've got Kenny Ken, the king of jungle. Undisputed. We got him in the house. We're talking and we're playing music the way it should be. It's Fabio. It's Radio 1 back in the day.
The only place to be for everything drum and bass. Fabio Grooverider on BBC Radio 1.
Hey, yo, right now we're going in with a classic.
Originals, digging at the first D&B classics. Old school. Let's take it back to the old school.
Worries, the underworld. Wicked tune, Kenny.
Yeah, heavy.
So back in the day,
Yep.
who like, you know, who was your MC? Did you have an MC or?
My MCs back in the day was like GQ,
Yes.
Moose, Stevie Hyper.
The incredible Stevie Hyper.
The incredible Stevie Hyper. Rest in peace.
Actually, let's mention Stevie Hyper a little while because he's still revered by many as the best MC of all time. In a way that the way that Tupac and Biggie's revered in the hip hop world as being the greatest, and I believe they will. I don't ever think you'll find two better rappers ever.
Nah, for real.
And Stevie Hyper, man, tell us what was so unique about the guy.
It's just the way, like, I mean, he changed. I mean, if you talk about GQ and Moose, right, and then you go on to Stevie changed the style of MCing to more or less what it is today. You know
And he
what I mean?
changed it from what, like a more generic kind
you
of.
know, back in the day, they used to be more like an MC instead of like chatting fast. They used to more like present the music
For sure.
You know what I mean? More than chat over it.
Yeah.
You know, like if you listen to GQ on the old AWOL tapes, you'll hear him. He's not really chatting over the music like lyric. He's just kind of enhancing it.
Yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean? Kind of thing. You know.
Like the mic compare, as you know what I mean?
That's
like,
it. Yeah, compare. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and that's what he used to do. But Stevie came in and was a storyteller.
Yeah, he came with the lyrics now, proper lyrics, you know what I mean? And like, he's like, you know, some of the
Stories
lyrics
and-
you never heard no one chat before, you know, and like, then he came with that fast style, you know what I mean? And like,
Changed the game forever, man.
yeah, when he was on top of his game, then he just left us, you know?
Also, you went in the studio and you had your label Mix and Blend as
Yeah.
well. How did that all come about, man?
Well, at Roast, they used to call me Mix and Blend. So I thought, right, when I start my label, that's going to be the name of my label, Mix and Blend.
Right, yeah.
You know, and then...
Don't have to work too hard on the name, man.
Yeah, exactly.
It's there already.
But I didn't really, to be honest with you, I didn't really take it seriously you know, as some people do with their labels.
Yeah.
You know, and then someone said to me, "Listen, Ken, you got to fix up, you know, with this label here. You know what I mean? Because like, it's got a good name.
You're running it shabby, bro."
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I fixed up a little bit, you know what I mean? We put out a few good releases, you know, and I mean, at the moment, I've got 2 tracks coming out at the moment. One by Savage Rehab and the other by NC17, but they're digital releases though.
But it's incredible though, Kenny, because you know the label has been going for how long now?
Since 1997, I think, or 8, 97.
That's, you know, that's a real testament to you to keep the label going.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are you finding the digital age and how are you finding the changes?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm just getting onto the digital thing because like the vinyl, well, you know, like vinyl, unless you've got a massive tune, it ain't worth really cutting the tune on vinyl.
For sure, man.
You know, because you're just going to lose money because once they take out their costs and everything, it's, you know,
it's hard
you're
work.
not making no money. So the digital thing though, it's a lot cheaper to produce, and I think the kids nowadays, they prefer the digital thing anyway because it's all CDJs and what's it called, Serato and everything.
Yeah, that's what's running right now, man.
So I'm on the digital thing at the moment.
Did you ever think, you know, like I remember, you know, we used to meet up at Music House, and I know, you know, on the show we do talk about Music House a lot because
heavy.
a lot of the guys come in, and Music House was like a physical version of Facebook. It was, you know, like you used to go down there and socialise and meet people, and it was like being at school again.
Yeah, definitely.
And I don't think people realise the intensity. We used to go down there used to be like 20 guys waiting to cut plates, man.
But then you get like, don't you remember, Fab, like first, like you say them 20 guys are waiting and they're all waiting to cut their dubs, but then someone would go and cut a tune and then everyone would hear that tune and think, well, I want a piece of that.
Yeah, everyone would want it. And that was the most annoying thing about it.
Yeah.
So, and some of these people were your friends and you couldn't really turn them down.
That's right.
And that's what was annoying about it. I used to just hang around till everyone went home.
Yeah.
You know
get there late, you know what I mean?
Or get there real late and hope no one you know walks in. Because, you know, if they say, look, can I have a cut of that? And a lot of the time it was someone else's tunes, and it was hard to say, look, I've got to give you this tune. But then we used to do trading as well.
Yeah,
It was a bit of enterprise. All right, then you give me that tune and I'll give you this tune, and that used to cause a lot of problems back in the time.
Music House, it was like the Jungle Stock Exchange, wasn't
it? I know, I do miss them days though. I do miss them days. Anyway, we're going to play 2 in a row from you, and we're going to play a track from a guy that he's a mysterious character, Omni Trio. He made some, you know, Renegade Snares. He made some of the great jungle tracks. I met the guy briefly once, and he used to correspond with me he used to write me letters.
Okay.
And he used to be like, Fab, this is a DAT with something on it and blah, blah, blah. But very few people ever met this guy.
Yeah, I don't think I ever met him.
No one met him. Nobody met this guy apart from Rob Playford, who used to run Moving Shadow, and he used to send Rob the tunes, but he made some great tunes.
Yeah, definitely.
And Soul Promenade, what does this track mean to you?
This is one of my favourite Omni Trio tracks. Forget about Renegade Snares. This track is, for me, is one of the best tracks he ever made. I love this track.
And it's a wicked track, man. What year did it come out?
I think this is 93, I think.
Very little known Omni Trio track, Soul Promenade. And this came out on Moving Shadow, right?
Yeah.
What a track. Boy, I think this deserves a drawback once it starts rolling, man.
Heavy.
We're going to play 2 in a row. It's Kenny Ken, it's Fabio. No interruptions. Just us two, waxing lyrical and playing some killer cuts from back in the day. No Show Invasion tonight. That is back next week with the Grooverider. Let's keep it moving.
I got something for your mind, your body, and your soul. your mind, your body, and your soul.
Fabio on BBC Radio 1.
BBC Radio 1. BBC Radio 1. BBC Radio 1. BBC Radio 1. BBC Radio 1. BBC Radio 1.
Yo, you're in tune to the Fabio, the original bad boy in the business. Keep it locked onto BBC Radio 1. Blow.
We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. We're gonna do a song that you never heard before. We're gonna do a song that you never heard before.
but you never heard before.
Let's take it back to the old school.
In the background, we've got Run-Ins. Dark, moody jungle, man. Before that, you had the euphoric, the amazing Soul Promenade by Omni Trio. Those tracks obviously mean something to you, Ken.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Isn't it funny when you hear old school tracks? It brings you back to specific moments, doesn't it? You remember, like, either being in Roller Express or, if I play something like Music by Bookham, I remember the first time I played that was in Bristol.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? At Tribal Dance. And this track really reminds me of places like Roller Express. And
this reminds me of AWOL.
We're moving on to that now, because this is a real moment in your career, wasn't it, really?
Yeah,
AWOL?
yeah, AWOL.
Because up until then, Kenny Ken, Jungle DJ, but then changes started happening, didn't they?
Yeah, big changes.
Tell us about those
big
moments
changes.
and about that time.
Well, when we started to play at AWOL, I think it was me, Mickey Finn, Dr. S. Gachet, Trevor Fung, and a couple of others.
Trevor Fung, yeah.
Yeah.
House DJ, yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the regulars there as well.
Okay.
But then they brought in Randall a couple of months later, or a few months later, and Randall, the way he played his music, all of us knew we had to fix up.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm just saying that over the airwaves on Radio 1, right? Because that's how it was. I'm just telling you how it was. I'm keeping it real, right? He made everybody fix up. Right, everybody, because he was the way he was mixing the tunes he was playing and everything, and then that's when things started to change. And for me, AWOL was a big part of my career because I was there for about, I think it was 2 or 3 years. It was
2 or 3 years of probably one of the great nights of all time. I mean,
definitely.
I came to AWOL 3-4 times. I played there a couple of times.
Yeah.
But they had a real specific DJ lineup. As you said, it was you, Randall, Mickey, Gachet.
Yeah.
And I think that's what made it special as well.
Yeah, and Darren J as well.
Darren J as well. And what it was is that all you guys used to draw out tunes on each other.
Yeah, we had to.
I remember coming down there because Randall, his name was made there, and there was a hype on him that I have never seen before or since. I know Andy's a great DJ, but the way Randall took it to another level was
definitely.
I remember coming down there one night after a gig, and I walked in and you couldn't move, and Randall came on, and there was a crowd around Randall. It was like a superstar DJ. And Randall smashed it like I don't really think since I've ever seen anybody demolish. He had all the new Goldie stuff, and he done a mix with Riders Ghost VIP and something else, and it was just amazing. And I know that it did make everyone around him think, wow, this is something new happening here. We've got to be on our A game at all times, man.
Fab, when the one time I had to do the first back-to-back I'd done with Randall, people were saying, because it was advertised and everything, and people were saying to me, Kenny, are you nuts? Are you nuts? He's going to bury you, right? He's going to bury you. But I took the challenge. challenge.
Yeah, of course, as you do.
And I'd done pretty well. And then the second time, Randall come up to me after the second back-to-back, and he said to me, Ken, I think that was you, son.
Wow.
And I said, you know what, Rand? It's all down to you, though. Because he just kept
but you weren't going to deny it. No, it was like, I did actually win that.
Yeah. I had to win something.
I beat the mighty Randall. Yeah, man. And also let's not forget, Mickey.
Yeah, Mickey.
He played some wicked and Gachet, Dr. S. Gachet used to smash it down there.
I think
man.
Mickey was the first one who I heard actually get a special done by a top artist. You know what I mean?
And what we mean, plates were cut, and we used to get the artist to actually mention the name of the DJ.
Yeah.
And you had one, Mickey had one.
Yeah.
I've got to tell you a story about a special. Groove had a special, which which was amazing, where they was like, Grooverider singing, and it was the wickedest tune.
Yeah.
And I asked the same guy to make me one, and I was so excited because you used to have to wait to get the DATs through.
Yeah, that's right.
And I remember opening it, man, and playing it, and I sat down there, and it was terrible. It was terrible, and it was like Fabio, and I was like, I want to play this tune, but I can't. It is so bad.
Did that sound the same as Grooves?
Didn't sound the same as Grooves. And I tell you what, I was so annoyed about that, man. I never really had a proper special, but I know you had many.
Yeah,
Who used to do yours for you, man?
I've had a few. Paul Ibiza.
That's right.
Ibiza Paul used to do me loads. A guy called Ramadan back in the day.
Okay.
I've even got one what I'm playing now by Capleton. So
wow,
yeah,
you're joking, man.
Yeah, I've got a Capleton one as well. Yeah,
that is special. All right, look. We're moving on to this really sinks in lovely with, we're going to take it like to the kind of Goldie era. We're going to play two in a row. One is by Potential Bad Boy. He's still going now, man.
Yeah, he's still going now.
I got a tune from him not that long ago.
Yeah.
And then the second track is Terminator 2 by the Roughage Crew, which is a seminal track.
Yeah.
Changed the game. And we're going to talk about that straight after this. We have the mighty Kenny Kenny's coming with an absolutely amazing selection. Remember, if you've missed any of the tracks, the BBC iPlayer, that's the one, because you need to hear this. What's the name of this, Ken?
It's called Let's Go, but that's not the proper title. It was out on Ibiza Records.
And they say Let's Go a lot, so that's what we call it, isn't it?
But I think it's called something else. But
okay.
I can't remember the proper title. But Let's Go, that'll do.
And straight after that, Terminator 2, Roughage Crew, killer track.
Yeah,
we're going to talk about that, man. So see you in 10.
and Grooverider bringing the worlds together with the sounds of drum and bass on your radio. Somebody make some noise for Fabio on BBC Radio 1.
Let's take it back to the old school.
Yes, we are hitting the AWOL era. That used to be at the Paradise Club. That was a wicked club as well, Paradise Club, isn't it?
Yeah, man, that was heavy.
It was that nice balance between. It was a little bit grimy, but it wasn't, was it? It was a kind of like, it had that new feel, but it was really underground in there.
Yeah.
Darkly lit and then kind of things, man. It was
just a place to be at the time, you know?
Also, you know, what's worth mentioning is that Goldie, really his career kick-started at AWOL because
definitely.
Randall was basically just like every week playing brand new Goldie dub plates, man.
Yeah.
And I remember Goldie being down there and just getting so carried away with the whole thing, man. He used to go crazy in there.
Well, he was like part of the furniture, wasn't he?
He was like part of the furniture, and he really, really was, man.
Yeah.
And he was a massive influence on the whole Randall thing as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you still see Randall and all them guys about?
Yeah, I still, me and Randall still talk. I mean, he's in Bristol now, but like we still talk, you know what I mean? Like, and he in fact, he gave me some tunes the other day, heavy tunes.
Yeah,
oh
no,
my
he's
God.
Randall's still got that flavour, hasn't he? He's still got that Randall sound to what he does, man, and it's incredible. What about Mickey and Gachet and them guys?
Mickey, I still see Mickey. Like, I spoke to Mickey not long ago on the phone. I phoned Darren today as it goes. Dr. S. Gachet, I haven't really seen him for a bit.
I haven't seen him for a while either.
You know, but like Mickey, Darren and Randall, I see them quite often, you know.
So look, and it's been, since 89, and what keeps you inspired? And everyone's got different ways of keeping motivated in this game, and it's hard, don't get me wrong, it's hard work, and having to keep up with the changes in the music and the speeds and technology as well. This Serato now, we always used to play vinyl and dubs, and it's a lot to deal with. It's not a lot of DJs haven't made that transition. A lot of DJs have fallen by the wayside and haven't been able to keep motivated. What keeps you motivated?
What keeps me motivated? His name is Chrissy Chris. Okay. That's what keeps me motivated.
Okay, and we've got to tell everybody your connection to Chrissy.
Yeah, Chrissy is my stepson.
Right.
And I was married to his mum for umpteen and loads of years.
Yeah, the wonderful Tracy. Yeah. I went to your wedding, that wedding when Chrissy played. And how old was he when he played?
I think, I'm sure you said to me it was Nicky Black Market. You thought it was Nicky Black Market.
I thought it was Nicky Black Market.
No, he was playing an 88, 89 set, and I think he must have been about 11 years old.
He was about 11.
Old. Yeah.
I remember he was 11. And you know what? I always remember he played How You Make Me Feel by Marcus Intellect in SD Files. Yeah. And I was like, how did a guy of 11 even grasp this tune? Because it's such a deep tune. And he was mixing it. The whole thing was incredible. So Chrissy inspires you in what way?
In the way that he's really enthusiastic about the music, the way he goes about collecting his music, the way he sits down in front of it, like he gets up in the morning, don't even have breakfast, just goes straight in front of the computer while I'm downstairs making my breakfast. Chris is upstairs on his computer, and I have to drag him downstairs. Come on, Chris, come and have some breakfast, man. You know what I mean? Go and have a shower. Go and do this. Go and do that. He just sit in his bedroom all day long. You know what I mean? Balls. Keep my mouth shut.
It's all right.
You know, but like he just stay in his bedroom all day long if you let him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What was you going to say about balls then?
Balls sweating.
I was curious. I was going to say balls scratching. That was a bit more worrying, but sweaty balls.
Sweating.
Yeah, we've all been there. We've been there. Anyway, moving on. But yeah, he does keep. It's incredible because
he keeps me inspired. My daughter keeps me inspired as well. Sammy.
Chrissy is such a vibrant character as well, isn't it? He's got such a personality. He's so. Every time I see him, man, he's just got so much energy. He's got that youthful thing, and he's an amazing DJ as well, man.
He's brilliant. He's brilliant.
So you must feel really proud because he's not your biological son, but he's someone you've reared, man.
Yeah, I'm proud of him. You know what I mean, Fab? Because even nowadays when people phone us up and say to us, Kenny, we want you to do a back-to-back with Chrissy, and I'll just say, nope, no way. No. You can book him on your own.
Can't keep up with that.
But I'm not doing a back-to-back with Chrissy Chris. No way.
Yeah, no, for real. So that's amazing that he's got to that stage, man. And like child stars, a lot of them don't make it. They show this talent when they're really young, and then girls and whatever get. And Chrissy's been motivated, and to the extent he's still on the rise as well. He's still getting bigger and better, and that's incredible.
I mean, it's still early days for him at the moment,
Still early days, man, as we know. Anyway, moving on. Unfortunately, we are running out of time. As I said to you before, if you just caught the show, if you've missed anything, check us on the iPlayer. You need to hear what's been going on tonight. It's been incredible. So anyway, let's move on. We're going to still keep with that AWOL era, which was a magical era. And what you got for us next?
This next tune was by Grooverider. It's out on JBL Recordings. I can't remember the name, but this tune was a AWOL anthem. Absolutely.
This tune used to smash it. I can't remember the name, but we will get our peoples to Google it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Check this out.
Bad boy business. It's Kenny Ken and it's Fabio. We are coming towards the end. We're getting ready for the wrap up. Unfortunately, remember, we keep it drum and bass, we keep it jungle. Next week we have the mighty Grooverider. And it's coming up to Christmas soon. We're going to have the Christmas special this year. Of course, me and Groove always get together, and it's a madness.
I might even come up.
You might. Listen, Kenny, the more the merrier.
Yep, I think I will.
You know what I'm saying? Right, going to let this one play. Yes. What a tune, Ken. What a tune. What a tune. What a tune.
Heavy tune.
That's why, that's why you're here. I didn't want to hear Lighter. I love them tunes. I don't want to hear Super Sharpshooter. I love all them tunes. I don't want to hear them tunes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just too regular for me. Like, you just come with it tonight,
It's
man.
about music, man.
Come with it differently, Kenny. But listen, what was there any moment that really set you on your way? I remember you telling me a story once about Sound Clash that you won.
Yeah, winning the Sound Clash at Roller Express. And thanks to Rebel MC, Conganati and Brian G and Frost from V Recordings, they gave me the ammunition to win that.
In what way? Just giving you tunes?
They just gave me plates that no one else ain't got. You know what I mean? And when I played at Roller Express, I didn't even mix, Fabio. It was just like, my brother was saying to me, Ken, don't mix, just draw tune. So that's what I done. I just draw tune and won the clash.
And that was a one-off, innit? There was a jungle sound clash, and it was massive. Everyone was involved.
Yeah.
I weren't there. Everyone apart from me, I was like, nah. But everyone was involved, and you won it, man.
Yeah.
That must have been a big moment for you, man.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, it opened doors for me because,
of course, it did.
I mean, after that, me and GQ went to Canada. We was the first ones to go Canada and play jungle.
And Canada is jungle's second home, isn't it?
Yeah, jungle's second home for real. You know what I mean? Like, it just opened doors for me when I won that. And like, I think that put my name firmly on the map.
Because you go Canada a lot, because whenever I go to Toronto, everyone's like, yo man, Kenny can. You know what I mean? Well, yeah, they say it in an American accent, but or a Canadian accent, and they always mention AWOL and AWOL tapes that they used to get, and you are a king in Toronto.
Toronto, when I go to Toronto, they treat me really, really good.
Yeah,
enough respect out to the Toronto Massive, because like, they treat me good when I go out there,
Listen, Ken, look, unfortunately we've come to the end of the show, and it's been special, man. It's been great having you on. It's been a long time coming. Tell everyone what's next for Kenny Ken. Like Christmas is coming soon, and what's coming up for you, man?
Well, I've got loads of dates coming up, here, there and everywhere, you know what I mean? So if you look on the UMC Management website, and then you can find out what's Kenny Ken's up to.
And you're up to next year. What about maybe some more studio stuff?
Yeah, you know what? I want to go in the studio. I'm kind of a stubborn person, because I've got to set up at my house, and I'm trying to do it all on my own, Fabio. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to call in the big guns to help you. And at the moment, I'm working with Savage Rehab, and they're really helping me out a lot. So big up to them.
Listen, Kenny, it's been great having you here. Like, hopefully in the future we can do something like this again.
Yeah, most definitely.
It'd be great to do that, and it's. I've known you a long time. Yeah, man. And I've known you you are one of the most humble characters out there, man. You never big yourself up, and you're actually quite insecure. And I think that's what's kept you going, man, because you've never been big-headed. No. I remember you used to come to me sometimes and go, Fab, I played rubbish. I was rubbish. And I don't know any other DJ that would be like that.
I'll just tell it as it is, Fabio.
And you're like, Fab, I played really rubbish tonight, and you've really been like really kind of upset. And then when you've had a good set, I can tell like Kenny's had a good set, and I hope we know each other for another 20 years, and I hope we're around for another 20 years.
Oh, we will.
And speaking of tunes, I think this tune will be around for another 20 years. And we've got to mention someone you were close to as well, DJ Rap.
DJ Rap, yeah.
Amazing woman, really. Yeah. She was the first female DJ that I know about. I remember she used to go to gangster places like Wax Club by herself, man.
She was a little gangster, though.
She was a little gangster, DJ Rap. And this tune, tell us about this tune.
Yeah, this tune is one of her biggest ever tunes she ever made, and I think I had it on dub plate for a while before it actually got released. You know what I mean? But she's done a few big tunes, but this one is the one. It's
one of the most special tunes.
Yeah, it's one of the classic jungle anthems.
Absolutely. Anyway, listen, I've got to give a quick mention to everybody who wrote in with your suggestions. Not everyone's suggestions got played. You know what? Maybe over the next couple of weeks, I'll try and filter a few tracks throughout the shows. But thanks to everyone's all these suggestions. They've been amazing, great tracks. And I hope you enjoyed the show. Coming up next, we have Devi's up next, and Moilsey is up at 6:30. Grooverider next week. We're going to love and leave you with this. You hear the strings, you know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
You know what time it is.
Oh, yeah.
Kenny, thank you very, very much for coming in.
Safe, Fab.
I'll see you on the road soon, son.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Many thanks to James and Pippa. Wicked stuff. DJ Recordings, baby. DJ Rap, Spiritual Aura. It's Fabio saying peace. I'll see you in a fortnight.
more.
I'm a hardback Gary, man.